Hi, this is SignalTrader Trading System, Lesson 1, all about the currency trade meter. All I'm going to do is, we've got a series of lessons that you can go through and you can watch them again to just kind of go through each section of the SignalTrader Trading System and what it does and why it's important. So I'll start with the most important thing. This is more important than any other part of the system. Okay, understanding this part of the system will give you the edge. Okay, and let me explain why. And it's this box down in the corner. Okay, and you can see here down the side I've got listed a number of currencies: Aussie, US dollar, Swissy, New Zealand yen, Canadian dollar, GBP euro, and down the bottom I've also got listed a number of currencies. Now what happens is that SignalTrader monitors the currencies all at once and compares everything to everything. Okay, now that sounds complicated, but so for instance the Aussie dollar compared to the euro here right now is at 45, sorry I can't read that very well, 46.9% strength, so it's about halfway, so they're about even Stevens. Compared to sterling, look, sterling's very strong, so it's 33%. Compared to the Canadian dollar, they're about halfway, they're about even. So what it does is you go along here and you can see how they compare to individual currencies by moving along and looking at the one at the bottom. Now the key is actually this last column, alright, and here's why. Okay, because it shows the overall strength of the currency, and actually SignalTrader's trading system is completely based on this column. Okay, because can you imagine if you trade sterling against, for instance in this case, look at the New Zealand dollar down at 38% against sterling at 65%. Basically everybody is trading against all the currencies are trading against the New Zealand dollar, and all the currencies are buying sterling. So the best pair to trade are sterling, New Zealand dollar. It's as simple as that. So we're looking for where it goes less than 40 and where sterling's greater than 65. So in this case, let's go and have a look at GBP New Zealand and see what's going on. It's a bit late at night, there's not much volume in the market, so things aren't moving around. GBP New Zealand. Now I know there are traders using SignalTrader who just use this, that's all they use. Now what they do is they'd look at that. GBP New Zealand is strong, what's it doing? It's been in this big, it's been an upward move for quite a long time today, but there's still strength in it. Okay, and this is part of the thing with trading, is knowing when we've run out of steam. Okay, so in this case I actually placed a place to buy trade on. So I put, let me show you how that works. So because sterling has been strong all day and the New Zealand dollar is now weak, in fact if you look at sterling, okay, walk along, so New Zealand GBP, look at that 29, see it's gone a different colour of red, and that shows you it's extra, it's getting extra weak against sterling amongst all the other things. So my earlier trade where I did a buy on sterling against New Zealand, and my target being the next white line up, didn't bother with this white line, it's too close, this white line up, okay, because these are your targets. And my stop I just put anywhere down here. SignalTrader then picks it up and works with it. Means that I am basically buying the strongest currency in the market against the weakest, which is the best thing to do. Now let's move over to the web-based interface and look at the currency meter there, because it's actually also available here on the web-based interface. The currency strength meter sits here, and the ones with the boxes around them, you can see these red ones here. Okay, you see New Zealand dollar has got red boxes on, sterling has got a lot of green boxes on them. They are, that is in a weak position, and again here, see along there, so you read along and that's in a strong position, and that combination means that's a good trade to take. Okay, a good place to trade, and it doesn't matter too much where you trade that with this kind of setup. Okay, now actually at the moment there's some news coming from New Zealand at 9:30, so it might rock around a little bit, but that's okay. I've got a sterling, I've got another trade on that I've had from earlier, which was when the Swissy was quite weak. Now at the moment that's the Swissy, I call it the Swissy. So at the moment I wouldn't do a new trade on Swiss versus sterling, but look, if you go along here and you go down here so you can match them up, the Swiss yen against sterling is only at 40. Okay, so actually it's okay, and actually in percentage wise in the market it's 54% versus 64%, so sterling is still 10% stronger across the whole market. So this currency meter is really important in terms of your trading, because it helps you to see what are the strongest and weakest currencies in the market right now. Okay, so GBP and then New Zealand, so that's good. So even if you took a trade, so even if you took a trade based on that, you'd have a good chance of it working. And the reason being, because you're trading the whole of the market against the whole of the market instead of just one currency against another. So let's look at something else here. Now, SignalTrader also works with congestion. That's going to be in another video to talk about how congestion works. And you notice here, see those two there? That means the buy euro is at 48.87% on the average over here, and the sell is at New Zealand dollar, which is 38.76%. So it's weak. Yeah, so it's over here. So what that basically means is that I wouldn't actually take this order because they're too close to each other. If, however, that had a green box and that had a red box, you would see that this would be highlighted by SignalTrader as a good trade to take. But at the moment, it's not worth taking. Let me just go and have a look at the flip back to the charts, and let's flip over to Euro New Zealand and just have a look at what's going on the chart. Always check your charts. Euro New Zealand, here we go. So we're going to look at the strength and weakness, and lo and behold, the euro's coming up against the New Zealand dollar, but it's got congestion. So this is a congestion trade. So SignalTrader has said that the euro here is at 48.39% overall, and the New Zealand dollar is at 37%, something like 10% cheaper, 10% less. But at the moment, that's not a trade because there isn't enough difference between them. There's not enough strength in the euro at the moment. Can you see? Look, some of it's stronger and weaker against various currencies, so I'd stay out of them. The closer they are to 50%, which is halfway, that's neither really like dollar. Look, 50%. That means it's not actually strong enough to go up and not actually strong enough to go down. The market kind of doesn't know what to do with it, unlike here the New Zealand dollar, yep, where you can see that. You can see the New Zealand dollar is weak and sterling is still sitting strong. So if I trade sterling New Zealand, what's likely to happen is that when we get volume in the market, in other words, we get enough traders in there, if they carry on with this and they don't change it, then we're going up. And it's been like that for a long time. So if you see a currency where the average has been high over 60% and the or low below 40%, then you can, for a while, it's going to be hard work for the market to change direction on that pair. So even if the chart, so let's have a look at GBP GBP New Zealand, sorry. GBP New Zealand, even if the chart says like this, if you would normally sit there and think, oh, that doesn't look like a good trade because I don't know where it's going, well, the market is buying sterling still since this morning when Mark Carney stood up and spoke here, and selling the New Zealand dollar, and you can see it in the currency meter. The currency meter gives you a view on the markets you would not otherwise have. Okay, and I've got traders that just are trading just with that, and in using their targets just by using that. It's a simple way of trading, okay, because you're trading the whole of the market on one currency against the whole of the other market on the other. A pretty simple way of trading that's very effective. Okay, so that's how the currency meter works basically. So basically, it's here on the web-based interface. There's a copy of it, except it highlights the boxes. It boxes up the ones that are strong and strong with green, and the red boxes with the weak ones. Incidentally, if you look at it and the whole thing is almost covered in boxes with strong and weak, you're probably in a situation where there's lots of news going on. It's probably best to stay out of the market until that happens. So for instance, with this, let me explain what happened here. So in fact, not that one. Let's move to GBP Chief, this one here. Okay, I had a buy on, and the buy was back down here. In fact, it was just here. Okay, so the buy came in, it went up 50 pips, and now it's hanging around. You see it's got a little bit of congestion there. I've not got far to my target. Okay, and SignalTrader is holding it in the trade for now. All right, it's a weak bearish trend. I'm not really bothered about this. I won't lose this trade. Okay, but this trade came out of using the currency meter. Okay, there wasn't any congestion. I just used the currency meter, found the strong and the weak trade. Sterling had already been up a bit, but it was holding its strength. Now, sometimes what happens is that you're looking at the currency meter, and so for instance it might rally up and then it drops back down again, okay, and you'll see the strength come off, and that's why we don't trade news. We wait till after the news, unless we're in a trade like this, okay, where the stop is actually inside the buy. The buys are here and the stop's there. Okay, this is actually about 150 pips or 100 pips or something like that. So I'm about 45 pips in, sitting straight. Probably that's probably at about 25 pips the stop, and SignalTrader will just hold it there. It'll be absolutely fine. See what happens. So that's it really. That's how the currency meter works, and it's a very, very powerful tool. And you know, a lot of the other currency meters you see on the market. In fact, I've not seen one like this. I've got lots of lines, and don't compare all the currencies against all the other currencies. They just compare all the currencies by like one currency, like the dollar, versus all the others. So that's why you need to understand this currency meter. So remember, read from left to right. Green is strong, red is weak. Above 60% is a buy strong. Below 40% is a sell weak. So for instance, here we have sterling at 64%, New Zealand at 36%. So that's a good. So you could buy sterling, GBP against New Zealand, and that's how it works. Really is that simple. Have a great day's trading, and the next trading is going to be about pivot points, which is these diamonds.